Hello and welcome back to the SuperCoach Experience podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Savage, the coach of the Savage Burbos. We did not get to a Q&A podcast this week, so I've got time to go for it now. So I've come live. I'm live on YouTube and also the SuperCoach Experience private premium group. So if you have any questions, I am recording live. So just pop your comments in the comment box and I'll get it up on screen and answer it. We're going to do a little Thursday wrap today and answer the questions that were asked during the week. So yeah, let's get into it. We've got a comment here from Joey Yoga. What's going on, mate? What's going on? All right, Thursday game is done and dusted. 18-12 to the Melbourne Storm. Quite low scoring here. Jerome Hughes top scored with 74. Elias Katoa 69 with a line break assist and a try contribution. May get updated, may not. He also scored a try without a line break. And then there's 2 points below him, Sean Bloor, 67 points. What an absolute pickup this week. Angus Crichton was one of the more traded in options this week, but Sean Bloor just looks the goods. He's getting better and better every week. Let's have a look. Spank the Monkey on YouTube. Garrick, a good option this week, boss. I love Garrick this week. He's got a big break even, so I think a lot of people are going to be scared off him. So I really love Garrick this week up against the Titans. Looks like Tanner Boyd's going to come back into that defensive line and Brimson is going to play fullback. So I think defensively, I really like Brimson in the front line defensively, but I think when he's out of that, it kind of he's a very good defender. So a lot of teams tend to stay away from him. Stay true, be you. Hope all is well with you and your family. Sav, couldn't find this week's question thread on Facebook. What are your thoughts on seeing K as a pod captain? I love seeing K as a pod captain. If you've got him in your side, I understand. I've got some friends who, in their situation, it was best for them to downgrade someone like Pat. I think they had Pappenhausen or something like that, or Drinkwater. It made sense for them to go to Chance Nickel-Klokstad so they could bolster up their center wing. Because he is such a cheaper option. Now, I think he's going to score just as well. I love seeing K. And this week as a captain option, he scored 175 against them, 145 against them last year in this coinciding match at Wynn Stadium. Joey, once again, who would you choose to trade in between Garrick and DWZ? I've been telling people DWZ this week, but if you can only get one or the other, I'd probably get Garrick. But if it's one this week and another one in a couple of weeks, I'd go Dallin Watini-Zelezniak this week and Garrick in maybe next week or a week after. So back to the Thursday game. Yeah, Bloor is looking mad. I think if you jumped on him instead of Crichton, you'd be quite happy. And just the way he's looked in that Melbourne side, Melbourne's draw does kind of ease up a little bit. So I'd be very happy if I was an owner there. Joe Chan, absolute surprise. We thought he was gone as a cheapie. 36 points. He should update quite a bit because he actually got, I don't know if he got awarded it, but let me have a look. He's only been awarded one line break and he got two. So based on that, he should get, so based on just the 36 points, he gets a 40K price rise and his break even will be minus 11 next week. So very good. That's very good for holders. Cameron Munster with a 35 after getting a 92 last week. He just the way he looks like a premium 5'8 option. 4% of teams, break even of 89, so it should go down about 30K, 40K. So I love that. Terrell May, bit interesting. It seems like the minutes roulette is going up and down with him. 33 points. I mean, I'm not touching him in my front row. I'm not going to consider selling him, but it is quite frustrating. You can't quite pick these weeks, but he's the type of player with massive upside. As a front rower, Teddy, 39 points. I think a lot of people would have sold a couple of weeks ago, but if you held on, you'd be pretty disappointed. Pappy, 51. I think his draw does ease up a bit. Big break even of 94, so probably loses. I think he loses 40K once again, so goes down to 670. I actually think he is a good option, but I was speaking in some other chats recently that I think maybe he's just not quite elite for Supercoach, especially without the goal kicking. And I know most of these premium options don't have the goal kicking, but it was him with the goal kicking that made him a premium option a few years back. So I think someone like Pappenhausen, whilst he's not a terrible purchase for your side, I love Chance a bit more just because he's got a bit more base in him. And when he gets those attacking stats, it really pushes him up. Whereas Pappenhausen does rely on the attacking stats to get most of his points because his base is a bit lower. He's backing up since he's put on a lot of weight for since being on injury. And it's like good weight, it's muscle weight. I think with him, he's struggling to push up and support play as well as he used to. He used to always just get them tries. Anytime there was a break, he'd be there. He's not quite doing that at the moment. So I think without the goal kicking, without that extra level in the tank, I don't think he's an elite option. Nick Meaney, I know Hads purchased him a couple of weeks ago, break even 102, scored 60 points, looked pretty good. I think there's big attacking stats coming for him very soon. He loses about 30, 35K, so he goes to 630. So I don't mind him as a purchase next week. I think he's going to come big, but maybe once again at center. The goal kicking does negate that, though. I do like it. Joey Manu, 57 points with a try. No line break. Not much doing in this game elsewhere. Hopefully we get some more hopefully we get some bigger Supercoach output in the games tonight. Okay, so I'm going over to the premium Facebook group. This is $10 entry. If you want to join, either message on Instagram or Facebook or email the supercoachexperience@gmail.com. It's $10 entry fee. What you get is priority access to questions answered, especially on these sorts of podcasts, and lots of different features like you get discount on next year's service, 5-on-1 team counseling. So we've got a little chat that we have where we got 5 experts in there. They're just guys from our panel, but we make a good effort to answer every single question that everyone has, and people are loving it. People are going in there just saying they love the community in there. So I'm really happy with the feedback we're getting from that group. So if you do want to join, it's $10 fee. Just message us on either platform that I just mentioned, and you could be part of it too. I think we're going to cap it because we don't want to dilute how good it is at the moment. It's really good at the moment, so we really don't want to dilute that and make it turn to shit just because we've added too many people, and it's too much for us if there's too many people in there. So Blake Stevens is the first question. Love the show, lads. Out of all the boys on the show, who's the best footy player? I want to say myself. I do want to say myself. I'm not sure about Jake. Like, I've played Oztag with Jake. I'm not sure what he's like as defensively, as a tackler. But I would say it's between me and Jake. I'd say Tim and Mikey are very similar players. They like to think they're hookers. I don't know how they both go in defense. Had to be an interesting one. I reckon had to be a rangy second rower. He doesn't have much in him. Like, he doesn't plays cricket, so he's very tall and thin. But he reminds me of like a Sean Lane slash Kai Pearce Paul type, that just rangy and can get over with that offload. Could play wing potentially also. Could be like that Xavier Coates flyer. I might ask him what I think he is. James Philibossian, is Max King a hold? I don't think so. I just think, like, with Max King, it was the start of the season. You bought him for a cheaper price to try and get him to someone premium, and now that he's out, he's done the job for you. I'd move him on to an AFB who's a very good price, 660K, or even a Willison this week. I think a Willison can get you enough cash generation to get you to a gun eventually, but I'll just 100% go with AFB if you can. All right. Stay true to be you on YouTube Live. I'm 27K short of going two picky to Garrick. I currently have these options for my trade in mind. RTS to Garrick, two picky to Zeri or Tamari Martin, or Hutchin to SJ Birdo. Currently going SJ. I think 100% go SJ. SJ has a low break even. I think with Birdo, he does have a low break even, but SJ, you can really ride his scores for the next few weeks as a premium option. Goal kicking. I know Birdo's goal kicking as well, but I really like SJ. And he's a captain option if you don't have a turbo this week or something like that. I wouldn't be doing RTS to Garrick. I think that's a bit of waste of cash. I'd wait a week on that, to be honest. So, just leave that. I'd go Tuapiki, maybe just go Tuapiki to Zeri or Tamari Martin anyway, and then do your Hutchin to SJ trade. It means you don't have to boost. Damo Red on YouTube. Garrick or Lomax for a trade this week? I go Garrick this week. I think he's got higher upside this week, and Lomax at center. Historically, St. George, their right wing is their hotspot. So him at center, I think you're looking at. I think he's turned a corner this year. He will look a lot better this year, but I just really think at center, I just don't love the appeal of him. Garrick versus Lomax this week. So same question. He just fixed that up. All right, we're going to go to Instagram where I put out a call for question and answers the other day, and a lot of questions were around. Oh no, they're gone. Oh, I'm rattled. They're gone. Well, lucky I've got lots of questions here. So if you are watching and do have a question, let it know. But I'm trying to find the questions that I put out the other day because I had heaps there, and now they're just gone. Really nice there. But yeah, I think Garrick has higher upside this week. Yeah, he does have. He does have the goal kicking. He's got the Titans this week. So I'd be really keen on having Garrick this week. Firstly, shout out to our sponsors, Picklebet. Use the code TURBO when signing up. They're Australia's next gen in race betting and sports betting. If you want to have a punt, use Picklebet. Help us out. They're a really good brand, but make sure to know what you're really gambling with. For free and confidential support, call 1-800-858-858. We're trying to get this questions box thread up, and I don't know if we can get any. This is a nightmare. Damo Red, would Smitty's to Crichton next week be a good option? Smitty's to Angus Crichton? I'd be looking at Smitty's. I don't know. I'm really keen on holding Smitty's just while he's getting the scores he's getting. I think he's been really good, and I'd be more inclined to try and go someone like a Olaquatu or Eli Katoa potentially. If you miss Crichton this week, he's still going to be good value next week. So I don't hate the Smitty's to Crichton trade either. Artie, boost from Burbo to DWZ or wait a week and make a more informed decision on another center wing gun. Already have Lomax, Karaz, RTS in the centers. I'd probably go DWZ because I think when you get players like this in, you want to get them for the good draw, and the good draw is now. So I'd be getting him in now. And yeah, I haven't prioritized the boosts and made them as important as a lot of other people had, just because I think you've really got to go hard while other people are still fixing little fires in their side. And if you're in a position to get a gun like DWZ, then 100% go for it. This time last year, he scored 175 against the Dragons, and I think you've got to target that sort of matchup. Does have the Titans in the Anzac Day clash as well. So they have a really good draw for the next couple of weeks. I'd be targeting DWZ. And if it does go pear-shaped, he's coming off a 91 last week, so he shouldn't lose too much cash. I really like him as an option. Their right side is the dominant side of their attack. So, I like DWZ. I've been pushing a lot of people onto him. and I will feel bad if he doesn't quite get there. But yeah, I do like him. Josh Norton, thoughts of boosting Drinky to Turbo for the Titans matchup, which will give me 200K for Cleary, reportedly back next week. I've actually heard he might take a bit longer to come back. So personally, I mean, I wouldn't be holding the cash for too long just to get Cleary, but at the same time, I've done the exact same trade this week. I've done Drinky to Turbo, Bankshare 100K, and I think it's a great cash gen move. And also, it's a move that Turbo in the next couple of weeks has the Titans. He's got a pretty good matchup in the next couple of weeks as well. So I'd be inclined to I'd be inclined to do that trade because that's exactly what I've done. And that's the only trade I've done this week. I've saved a trade this week, which has been brilliant. Haggy on YouTube, if Marju plays left this week, is he must next week? Good draw coming up. I wouldn't say a must, but I think he'd be one of the most traded in players. High break even this week, coming off of 40 last week. I think Marju is a great option. I think Marju is a great option if he plays left. I just don't know why they put him on the right last week. I kind of do understand a little bit. Like, Tuala's been killing it. He's probably played the best he's ever done. And like, that left wing just feeds off Ponga so well. And if they've got a left winger who can do a job, who can finish KP's plays, then maybe their right winger needs to make up the slack for the lack of upside on that side. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him stay on the right, but if we see him on the left this week, I think I'd definitely have a look at targeting him next week, especially if they look good and Ponga's injury is looking pretty good. Damo Red on YouTube, Team A, Iro, or Schiller to play in the 17 this week. Oh, it's tough. I think you can rule out Schiller pretty comfortably. I do think Canberra are actually going to beat the Broncos this week. I just have a feeling. I think their type of play is going to struggle the Broncos, but Taylor May, I think he's had some low ones, so I think he's in for a massive bounce back, but I can't go past Ira against the Cowboys. The Cowboys have leaked a lot of points, and Morgan Harper played on the left last week, and he had one of the better games of his career. So I think that left side against the Cowboys is going to be good, and at PointsBet as well. The last time we played at PointsBet, 97 points. Art on YouTube, currently own Coruscant and Levi in the hooker. When do you think the right time to move off Levi is? And do you think it's a good strategy to bring in Harry Grant or stay at a similar price with Brayley? It just depends the makeup of your side. So I'll give you my side for an example. I've got Levi and Robson in there, and I'm really liking the look of Harry Grant. Not necessarily liking the look. He's actually been really quiet. If he was in my side, I'd be quite frustrated, to be honest. But I like the price he's getting at, and I really think he's someone you got to pounce on quite soon. Probably next week. He's going to have a break even over 100 next week, and he's going to lose 30K this week. I'd look at getting in Harry Grant for Levi, but at the same time, with my side, I've got two gun center wings and I'm missing two. Like, I'm constantly playing two cheapies at the moment. So I need to prioritize that center wing position. So with Levi, I am probably going to downgrade him to Brayley next week. Hopefully you make enough cash from that trade so I can upgrade in the center wing. But if you're in a position where you're happy with your center wings, you're happy with your second rowers, and you're happy everywhere else, I'd be more inclined to go to Grant, because I think he's a great trade, and I think we've really got to consider it sometime soon. All right, I think that's going to wrap us up for the Q&A podcast for today. Really apologize for messing up and not being able to see everyone's questions on Instagram. Usually you can go in there and like see the questions in the question box, but I didn't do it. More edit highlight. I don't know. It's not there, but We persist. It's Friday afternoon. Don't need to have a long podcast going for this afternoon, but yeah, so we are 102 with 2 played, Terrell May and Elias Katoa. I think we're in for a big day today. I've got Sean Johnson playing in the Warriors St. George game tonight. Sean Johnson and Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. Very keen on watching Sean Johnson go around. Hopefully he can turn up, score a hat-trick. And then we've got Dylan Brown playing the Dolphins tonight, Friday. But I think tomorrow is going to be the big day. Tommy Trbojevic against the Titans. That's going to be massive. So cheers for tuning in, and we'll see you on Sunday.